Welcome back to Nicholas Comic Quarter Classic, that's non-classic. This episode number 1252 and Doubleshot number 1146. Once again, two X-Men trades like the last one. First up we have X-Men by Jonathan Hickman, Volume 2. This collects issues of 7 to 11 of the current volume of X-Men. Now, yes, Hickman does write this thing. Yeah, he still does. As far as I can tell, he still does. The artwork is done by a couple different artists this time. Yes. Lenz does most of this book in here. Yes, with the exception of issue 8. 8 is actually by Muhammad. Yeah, for some reason, it lists this book ending at issue 11, but yet the thing says, 12, which that doesn't make much sense, the fact they would say that. Yep. Now, this book does have, believe it or not, its first Empire tie-in. Yep. Yeah, the book has a tie-in to Empire. Yeah, that was actually a crossover that happened just recently. And this is actually the first book I'm actually discussing this crossover. If you ever get a chance to read this crossover, it is so freaking good. Yes, by far one of the best events I've seen in years. Yes. Mostly put this as the X-Men, what they were doing. Mostly just focused on Gabriel Summers, a.k.a. Vulcan. Also, there's a subplot here like, when people call him Emperor, it's like, don't call me that. I'm like, you were Emperor of the Sheer Empire for like a year. Actually, no, it was about 2 years in comic time. You were the head of the Sheer Empire, and yet you don't want to talk about it. Yep. Also, did Hickman forget the fact that Deathbird was pregnant with his child? Apparently he did, but he did remember Gladiator did have a son. Yep, Gladiator's son pops up in here for one issue. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I like the fact that he remembers that, because even though, yes, he didn't create Gladiator's son, that was Jason Aaron who did that for the series Wolverine and the X-Men. Oddly enough, don't know where Warbird is. Yes, his former bodyguard, this beautiful woman. Yeah, for some reason, she just disappeared outside the comic books. Yeah, it seems like once Wolverine and the X-Men, she just completely disappeared. I know what happened to her. She just stopped appearing. Yep. And if you're curious, who is the prime focus characters of these issues? Well, a lot of the time it's Gabriel Summers. Though I do have a question mark with his resurrection here. Because apparently he does remember his time as the head of the Sheer Empire. And he's no longer evil and sleeping with random women. Also, apparently he forgot the fact that he was actually married. Okay. Yeah, he got married. He got married to Deathbird, which kind of makes him the uncle to Charles Xavier Landers' daughter. He's basically the uncle of that girl. But no, Hickman just doesn't remember that at all. Yes, it is nice though he's back in his costume he was wearing when he first showed up. Fine. But not much else to it. Mostly put just over resurrection stuff, but yeah, it's mostly like a lot of like the best way you can say about the X-Men book is like an anthology. Basically, a lot of era stuff happening. Like there's some big stuff happening here that mostly basically explored in our books. Yep. Let's see. Was there anything else? Yeah. Also, there's this brief, really interesting bit in here where Wolverine and Cyclops just sit on the moon and just basically have a drink. No fighting, nothing. And yet these two fought frequently for years over Jean Grey. Yep. And let's see what else. No, nothing really much else. It's still good. Not much here to write about. Write home about when it comes to this book. Yeah, not a lot of stuff happens here. Not a lot of really big things. It's mostly just deal with like day in the life of the X-Men book, of the X-Men characters. We'll also have focused on Gabriel Summers, which is fine. Plus, I love the movie-esque covers they have for this book. Yes, that's a high praise I gotta have for this book, is the movie-esque covers. Havoc does some things in here, mostly, but he just does stuff in Hellions. I mean, the best thing you can describe about this particular series is that it just sets up stuff that happens in other books. Yes. But this book is still pretty good. Give this book a 9 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Alright, now moving on to a little more interesting book. We have New Mutants by Ed Brisson, Volume 1. Despite the fact it's called Volume 1, he actually leaves the book. Yeah, he's no longer currently writing. I am Hickman writes anymore. Nope, it's not written by Bob Alla, I think the name of the art writer is. Yeah, it took over after X of Swords. This book contains issues 3 through 4, 6, and 8 through 12 of New Mutants Volume 4. Yeah, these are put the other New Mutants. Basically, we have Glob, Armor, and Beak and Angel. Interesting. 3 out of 4 of these characters are Grant Morrison characters. Glob himself first appeared in a Grant Morrison story. Yeah, he first appeared in the story Riot of the Xaviers, which also made his debut of Quentin McIntyre. In the case of Beak and Angel, basically Grant Morrison created these two and then put them in a relationship and then they had kids. Yep. Oh, and by the way, how did he still hook up? By a dare. Yep. Basically, Angel was dared to make out with Beak, and that's how they fell in love. And she had multiple kids with him. Yep. And mostly put these issues are, well, the first few issues, I still put this. Like, the other New Mutants basically are going to visit Angel's parents, which are attacked by a bunch of bigots who end up killing other people, and the leader kills himself. And of course, there's also this newspaper, this very big newspaper called Docs, which of course they go after toward the end of it. Oh yeah, by the way, Glob beats the crap out of the editor because he grew up hating mutants, and this guy was a lot like his father, but he basically grew to love mutants. Mm-hmm. Yep. But that's what a lot of this, that's some of the stuff happens here. Armor gets a good amount of development. I like the fact Armor's here because it seems as though, and I don't know if anybody's ever noticed this, it seems like as soon as Joss Whedon wrapped up his run for Astonishing X-Men, apparently Marvel just kept her as a student despite the fact she was already considered an X-Men. And it seems like also they knew much with her at all. And despite the fact she has officially graduated, she graduated from New Grade School for Higher Learning at the end of the first volume for the series, she's still treated like a student, despite the fact she's been graduated for quite a while. Glob, on the other hand, it's completely unknown if he ever graduated at all. I don't know if he finished his studies at all. Same thing with Beak and Angel. Mm-hmm. Of course, they're also here with Magic. Yep, Eliana's here as well. I mean, why not? She was married with New Mutants in the original book, so why not? Mm-hmm. Yep. And in case you're curious, though, do I have a problem with the logo for the New Mutants? Not really. No, it's an okay logo. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, the artwork in here mostly is done by Ferlivo, who does issues 3, 6, 9 through 11, and the rest of the issues 4, 8, and 12 are by Marco Falia. Mm-hmm. The cover is done by Rod Reese, who does issues 3 through 4, 6, and 8 through 9. And then have Mike Del Mundo, who does issues 10 through 12. Yep. These books are fun. I thoroughly enjoy them. Mm-hmm. But the book is pretty thick. It's thicker than the last book, which contained only the first 2 issues, 5 and 7. Yeah, 2, 3, 4. Only 5 issues in the last book. And this is basically thicker than this one. The last book. This one contains 2, 3, plus I think it's like 5. This book contains 8 issues. Yep, 8 issues. But, oh yeah, and also, these 2 twins are in here as well. They're a minor thing in here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, Dazzler is on this roster. Yes, also, apparently, Dazzler is an alcoholic now. Which I'm like, when the heck did they start that? Because Dazzler's never been an alcoholic. She's been suicidal, yes. At one point, she cut up her costume when she joined excuse me, the Uncanny X-Men, the Bendis roster, because of a mistake posing as her for a while. Mm-hmm. So now she's an alcoholic for reasons. That's simply what she is. But she's no longer suicidal, but why in the world she's drinking, I have no idea. Also, I love the fact they have her keep her, like, she's still as hot as ever. Though, at least they keep her hair blonde instead of dyeing it pink. Yeah, I have no idea why in the world at times Marvel artists tend to switch back and forth with as Alison Blair, aka Dazzler, albeit you're blonde or basically having pink hair. But this book is good. This book a 9.5 out of 10. Now I should close this out. Before I close it, I want to talk about something about the price tag for these books. This book is $15.99. This book contains 5 issues. This book contains 8, and this is a lot more expensive. This is $19.99. New Mutants. I mean, comprised of characters not a lot of people know about. I mean, it's something though. The flagship book is like $16. This is $20. Well, there's a reason why. This book has got a lot more issues in it. That's the simple gist of it. Yep. But 2 good books overall. Yep. Still got a lot more X-Men books to cover. I mean, since I cover these now. So, what's left? Let's see. There's still Fallen Angels. There's Cable, X-Force, Excalibur. Of course, there's also X-Factor. That's it. Now, you're probably thinking, what about Sword? Well, they just released 1 issue of it so far. And, issues 2 and 3 are going to be part of the King and Black crossover, which I'll probably discuss that soon. Yep. But this is going to be it for this particular video. Next video, Comic Book History, episode 53, discussing Squirrel Girl. Okay? To the next video. Bye.